evening. Welcome to another session of current affairs. Let's get into our first topic. Good evening. Welcome to another session of current affairs. Let's get into our first topic. Today our first topic is Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana. So this scheme is rolled out for elderly people. It's basically a pension scheme. People want to invest their amount somewhere for the returns, for interest sake, for the sake of interest. So if the interest here and there, and if the market fluctuates, they may not get their what the interest amount what they expected, and sometimes they may have some tensions also regarding those money. So for them, government has rolled out this scheme. This is called Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. In this scheme, a 8% assured interest amount will be given in this scheme to the total amount purchased by the beneficiary. An assured amount of 8% interest rate. And so, if an elderly person wants to invest their money, they will definitely get an interest amount of 8% interest. And this amount they can get on their amount on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, once in 3 months, half yearly basis, and yearly basis, and they will get the pension amount, the so-called pension amount, for a period of 10 years. For a period of 10 years, they will get their pension, which is the return, according to their choice. If they want monthly, they will get monthly. If they want quarterly, they can get it quarterly. And if they want half yearly or yearly, they will get likewise. Right? And this will be only for the period of 10 years. That means for a period of 10 years, the maturity age of this total scheme is 10 years. This is implemented by Life Insurance Corporation of India, LIC. This is implemented by Life Insurance Corporation of India, LIC. Okay. So, before getting into the benefits of the scheme, let us try to understand the eligibility. First, this is an Aadhaar-based scheme. The age of the person should be at least 60 years completed. The age of the person should be 60 years completed. And the minimum amount in this scheme will be, the minimum age is 60 years, guys. And there is no limit on the maximum age. And this will be a period of 10 years. The scheme term will be 10 years. The minimum amount which can be invested in this scheme is 1,50,000 rupees, and the maximum amount will be, minimum is 1,50,000 rupees, and maximum amount will be, so it's an Aadhaar based scheme. The interest rate will be assured amount of 8%. The minimum age will be 60 years. Maximum age is no limit. And the person's age 60 years must be completed. Right. The policy term is, the scheme term is 10 years. And the minimum amount which has to be invested is 1,50,000 rupees. And the maximum amount which can be invested is 15 lakh rupees. Okay. So let's go into benefits now. The beneficiary will get the pension if he purchases the scheme according to the amount he purchased for a period of 10 years. And the scheme will mature after 10 years. So for 10 years, he will get his pension, whether if he likes monthly, quarterly, half yearly or yearly, whatever he chooses. right? That is the first benefit. Second benefit is that if the person has purchased this scheme and he has died in the period of 10 years, if he has died in the period of 10 years, then the amount will be given back to the nominee. There will be a nominee person in the scheme. This nominee will be nominated by the person, the beneficiary, and the nominee, after the death of this beneficent person, the nominee will get the purchased amount. That means the invested amount. Maturity. This person will get the pension for the period of 10 years, as we discussed, or monthly, quarterly, or whatever the frequency of the pension is. And after the period of 120 months, that is 10 years, his purchased amount also will be returned with the last pension amount. His purchased amount, that is invested amount, will be returned last pension installment, that is 120th pension installment. He will get his purchase, this invested amount also. I hope you have understood till here. Then there is a loan benefit. There is a loan benefit. If the scheme, in the scheme, if a time period of 3 years have been completed in the scheme, if the term period of 3 years has been completed, the beneficiary needs amount on an emergency basis. In that case, 75% of the total amount, 75% of the total amount will be given to the beneficiary as a loan. And the interest amount on this loan will be deducted from his pension. Yeah, I hope I am clear till this point. Interest amount will be deducted from his pension. There is another provision. If the person is not happy with this scheme, if this person, Mr. A, is not happy with this scheme, he can return the scheme. He can return the policy, return the scheme, or cancel the scheme, and he will get his amount back. If he cancels the scheme, he will get his amount back. If he has purchased the scheme in offline basis, he can cancel the scheme within a period of 15 days, 15 दिन के अंदर. If the person has purchased this scheme through an offline basis, then he can cancel the scheme within 15 days. And if he has purchased this scheme through online, he can cancel the scheme within a period of 30 days. There is a suicide exclusion option also. If the beneficiary has committed suicide, in that case also there is an exclusion and the amount will be returned to his. There is another provision of premature exit. If the person A who has bought this scheme, he or his spouse wants some amount, some emergency amount for some medical emergency, let us think. In that case, in a premature exit case, a total amount of 97 to 98% of the total amount, the purchased amount, will be returned back to the beneficiary. If he wants to prematurely exit from this scheme, in that case also, he will be given the almost 97 to 98% of the total amount he invested in this scheme. I hope you have understood all the benefits, the important points. Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. Okay, that was about Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana. Next, move on to the next topic. Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana is a very important topic, and today's all our topics are extremely important. So today's our next topic is One Nation, one ration card. One nation, one ration card. So we have our finance minister has announced that one nation, one ration card will be enrolled by March 2021 throughout India. Throughout India. So what is one nation, one ration card? Right. So we know that migrant laborers who were the highest sufferers. Migrant laborers were the highest sufferers in this COVID-19 pandemic. This COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. So for them especially, to benefit migrant laborers, this scheme has been rolled out by the government. So I'll tell you with an example. We have seen in the news also, so many people from UP, from Uttar Pradesh, work in different parts of India. Work in different parts of India. We have seen migrant laborers from migrant laborers of Uttar Pradesh who have settled down in Delhi, walking back to UP from different states. So, okay. So let us imagine there is a migrant labor, Mr. A, who has settled in Telangana, but he is from UP. According to every ration card holder knows that in this ration card allocated to a person, there is a designated fair price shop. There is a designated fair price shop. Designated means that person has to take the ration, or the person has to buy the ration from that particular shop. Let us say the shop number 19. Okay? If this person A has been allocated a ration card in the state of Uttar Pradesh, he has been allocated the ration shop number 19 in the particular location where he lives. But what happened is, since he works in another state, he works in Hyderabad, as we discussed, right? The person works in Hyderabad, and every month he cannot collect ration card. He cannot collect his ration. He cannot buy his subsidized food from the ration shop, right? He can't, every month he cannot go to UP for the ration. And that's why he won't be able to use this his ration card monthly wise. So he is not getting his subsidized grains monthly wise. But he has to buy all these necessary commodities from the present state he is living with his money. With his own money, but at a higher cost. So, especially for these people, the government has rolled out one nation, one ration card scheme. So, in this scheme, the person can buy subsidized food grains from any ration shop throughout India. Any ration shop throughout India. Okay. So let's get into the topic a bit deeper. As I told you, in the ration card of the beneficiaries, all the people who have their ration card, there will be allocated ration shop. There will be a allocated ration shop number, and every month they have to buy their ration from that allocated shop only. Right? So this system is creating leakages also. This person, as we discussed, this person from UP, which is his permanent residence, he is staying in Hyderabad, which is Telangana. And every month he cannot go to UP for buying his food grains. So what's happening is, previously, these ration shop dealers are selling the food grains to some other person and nominating that into the account of Mr. A. These ration shop dealers are selling the amount to Mr. B, and they are nominating that into the account of Mr. A. This is causing the leakage. This is causing the leakage in the system of public distribution system, PDS scheme. In this PDS scheme, which is under National Food Security Act of 2013. So Mr. A was entitled to certain amount of food grains by the government, but since he is not staying in his native state, but he is staying in a different state, he is unable to get his food grains, and in return these ration shop dealers are selling the food grains which is allocated to Mr. A to Mr. B, right? And this is causing a leakage in the system. To stop this leakage and to bring reforms in this system, the government has rolled out this scheme. So this One Nation, One Ration Card scheme, under this One Nation, One Ration Card scheme, every ration card will be seeded with Aadhaar. And with the usage of, so every ration card will be linked or seeded with Aadhaar, and he will be able to take the ration with the help of electronic point of sale machines. Electronic point of sale machine using his biometrics. Yeah, we know that usage of these biometrics will stop these leakages. Even this person, Mr. A, won't be able to take subsidy from Telangana if this scheme is rolled over. He cannot take his subsidy from UP and as well as Telangana. To stop that sort of leakages also, every ration card will be linked with the Aadhaar, and that's stopping the leakages in the system. Currently there are 81 crore beneficiaries. 81 crore beneficiary, guys, not ration cards. There were 81 crore beneficiaries and almost 23 crores of ration cards. 23 crores of ration cards in all the states and UT. 23 crores of ration cards in all the states and the union territories. Right. There are two another terms you must understand. Interstate portability and intrastate portability. So in this One Nation, One Ration Card, there are two terms: interstate portability, intrastate portability. So as we discussed, interstate portability, the person Mr. A, who is from UP, who is residing in Telangana. This is called interstate, state to state, interstate portability. There is another portability called intrastate portability. అది రాష్ట్రం నుంచి రాష్ట్రం, ఇది అంతర్రాష్ట్రం. రాష్ట్రంలోనే రాష్ట్రం వరకే ఇది నిమిత్తమైనది. సో intrastate portability means a person who is, let us take the example of some state, let us take Karnataka, right? A person, Mr. A, he is from some district of Karnataka, from northern Karnataka, from southern Karnataka, and for his work he has moved into the northern districts of Karnataka. northern districts of Karnataka. So using this intrastate portability, the person who has moved for work or education into another district, using this biometric, that person will be able to take his entitled or allocated ration from his nearby area, nearby ration shop, and his rest of the family in Karnataka can take the ration from their native place only, in their designated, not only designated, any ration shop. So the person who has moved for his job will be able to take the ration using his biometrics in any ration shop in the district which he is residing for temporarily, and his family who is residing at his home can also take remaining amount of ration which is allocated for them through biometric at their native place only. So this is called intrastate. These two terms are important when it comes to one nation, one ration card. So under this one nation, one ration card, there are 17 states already joined this one nation, one ration card platform. 17 states have already joined this platform, and 3 more states are going to join in this month, in the month of June. 3 states are going to join in the month of June. In the month of June. So totally by the end of June, 20 states will have joined the platform of one nation, one ration card. Right. There is one more last point. But when it comes to interstate transactions which have happened, interstate transactions, they were very low. Only 275 transactions were recorded. Very, very low. 275 transactions were recorded when it comes to interstate transactions of this one nation, one ration card. Whereas under intrastate transactions, there were more than 1 crore. More than 1 crore. More than 1 crore transactions have been seen in this intrastate transactions. That means the beneficiaries who have moved from district to district in this scheme, in their own state. Right. There is another portal, guys, Annavitran portal, which has been rolled out by few states. annavitran.nic.in. Annavitran portal, which has been rolled out by few states. This also enables the beneficiaries to get their entitled or allocated food grains in their state only, intrastate, in their allocated state. In any district, they might have moved from any district to one district to another. They can avail those ration shops in any district throughout the state under this portal, Annavitran portal. So that was the one nation, one ration card topic. So let's move on to the next one. Right. Today's our next topic is, why it is in news? Because the people of India are going to experience a very a very beautiful event, that is solar eclipse on 21st June. It's going to be a very long eclipse. So we are going to experience a solar eclipse on 21st June, which is round the corner. And I wanted you to know that the different types of solar eclipse. So I wanted you to know the different types of solar eclipse and have a good knowledge before seeing the solar eclipse. We know that Earth revolves around the sun and moon revolves around the earth. Earth revolves around the sun and moon revolves around the earth. So actually the axis of moon is tilted by a certain angle. The axis of the moon is tilted by a certain angle. So that's why, since the axis of the moon is tilted, we don't see a solar eclipse on every new moon day. On every new moon day. Right? If the axis of moon was not to be tilted and if it were to be straight lines, then we would have seen solar eclipse occurring on every new moon day, once in a month. But that is not the case. The axis of the moon is tilted and it is also elliptical orbit. 2 points you have to understand when it comes to Earth, the orbit of moon around the Earth. First, it is tilted, and second, it is elliptical. That means it is a bit nearer at some point and it is farther at some point. Okay? So during a solar eclipse, this sun's rays are blocked by moon from falling from the earth. Sun's rays are blocked by the moon from falling from the earth. So this situation makes cast two shadows on earth. The moon casts two shadows on earth. The darker shadow, which is called umbra, the darker shadow which is called umbra, and the lighter shadow which is called penumbra. Penumbra. Okay? That's the place where this umbra falls. The place where this umbra falls, those people at that place experience total solar eclipse. Total solar eclipse. And the place where this penumbra falls, those people experience partial solar eclipse. Partial solar eclipse. And the path of the shadow, which moves on earth, that path is called path of totality. Path of totality. That means the people who are in the region of path of totality experience total solar eclipse. Okay, I hope you have understood till here. Now let's move into types of solar eclipse. The moon covers the sun in such a way that it completely covers the sun. It completely covers the sun, and for some point of time we are unable to see the sun. And the people who are living on the earth in that particular region experience total solar eclipse. Total solar eclipse. Eclipse. And the people who are living in the region where penumbra falls, in the region where penumbra falls, can only see a partial eclipse. Can only see a partial eclipse. Third one is annular eclipse. Third one is annular eclipse. The distance in this point, the distance between the earth and moon and sun is so finely balanced that moon is unable to cover the total sun. Moon is unable to cover the total sun, and the outline of the sun can be seen from the shadow of the moon. And this outline is called ring of fire. Ring of fire. And this ring of fire can be seen in annular eclipse. That means in this annular eclipse, sun is not totally covered by the moon, and an outline of the sun can be seen from the earth. And fourth is hybrid eclipse. Hybrid eclipse. Right. Previously we have discussed that moon revolves in a elliptical orbit around the earth. At some point he is a bit closer to earth. At some point he is a bit farther from the earth. And when a hybrid eclipse is occurring, the distance of earth and moon is so well balanced that some people from some parts of the earth can see a total eclipse, and the people from some parts of the earth can see a annular eclipse. Some people from some parts of the earth are able to experience a total solar eclipse, and people from some parts of the earth are able to experience annular eclipse, the ring of fire type of eclipse. So this type of eclipse is called an hybrid eclipse. Okay, so that was about our solar eclipse and types of solar eclipse. So thank you for today. Let us meet in the next session of current affairs.